All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Racha HaKodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, peace and blessing to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect, Shalom Barakathum. And the spirit of war is in the air, okay? And I'm going to base this off of Psalms 140, and we'll see where this goes. But the latest news is bellicose rhetoric coming out of the Pentagon. I'm going to Google that phrase, bellicose. Okay. Demonstrating aggression and willingness to fight. And the word bell goes into the word war. Look, it broke it down. Bellum. Okay. Antebellum means before the war. Okay. All right. Bellicus, warlike. Bellicosis. Okay. So there's your word for the day. Okay. All right. But this is the spirit that they're in. Okay. When you rebel, you go back to war. Okay. That's what it means. And this is what's going to happen all over America. Okay. America, they're going to go to war again. Okay. They're in a completely rebellious spirit. And now they're codifying it. Like he used the word codify because he's cracking down on military. Let's read some of this. Okay. It says Trump Hegseth rally troops at rare meeting rail against woke standards. Okay. Why? Because they let a lot of rainbow individuals get rank. Okay. And dictate things and how things go in the military. Okay. They lack the uniforms, the physical training requirements. Okay. You got a lot of women holding rank in positions. Okay. Because they've relied on their sword too much, and the quality of their men has gone down. Okay. It says what to know about Hegseth gathering of the top U.S. military leaders at Quantico, Virginia. Hundreds of generals and admirals were summoned from around the world last week for today's unusual meeting with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth at the Marine Corps Museum in Quantico, Virginia, without initially being told why. Okay. Because they're getting ready to clean out a lot of generals. Because, see, there's infighting all throughout Esau's kingdom. All throughout it, man, okay? They have more than their heart could wish, yet they still find themselves fighting over everything, okay? All right? I'm going to go straight to the point. Psalms 140 and 2. I'll start at verse 1. It says, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, deliver me, O Lord Yahweh, from the evil man. Okay? It says, preserve me from the violent man. And this is what you have. This is why when you Google Pete Hegseth, his name, you now have United States Secretary of War now. Okay? They've gone back to that instead of the Department of Defense. Okay? That should show you everything you need to know about these individuals. It says, which imagine, verse 2, Psalms 140 and 2, which imagine mischiefs in their heart, continually are they gathered together for war. Okay, and they're continually gathered together for war. Okay, that's why that's why there are military bases all over the planet. Okay, and they got even more if you count all of these CIA safe houses. Okay, these FBI buildings. All right, all of these black sites. Okay, that you'll never know. Okay, you'll think it's under the name of an old Edomite woman, but it's really a CIA a CIA front, kind of like Jake had trap houses. Okay, what do you think Jake get that from? All right, it says which imagine mischiefs in their heart, continually are they gathered together for war. Okay, they have sharpened their tongue like a serpent, adder's poison is under their lips. Salah. Okay, and this is what we have. Okay, always forget to put this on do not disturb. I'm recording. Okay, That the things, the rhetoric that they're speaking is proud as hell, man. Okay. And he used the term, it may show it here in the article. I didn't want to play the video. I guess I could have. Look at him. I forget how to do the search on here. But he mentioned peace. Okay. In his speech. See if I can find it in here somewhere. Look, it says the president praised his decision to adopt the name Department of War, and he said he believes the renaming will deter conflict. Well, why is there conflict? Could it be because you every goddamn where? Okay, stealing things, taking land that don't belong to you, oppressing people. Okay, it says the Department of War is going to stop wars. He said, see how backwards they sound. All right. Now that is true, that war, that the result of war is peace. But what they don't tell you is that they have a problem, okay? They can't stop starting wars, okay? Their end game is not peace, okay? If Esau had a time of peace, he would go nuts, okay? It says that in Proverbs, I believe it's Proverbs 24. It's for Proverbs. Salakia. Proverbs 4 and 16. Okay. It says, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. So you cannot reason with this guy and think that if you allow him to do war this time, it's going to be peace afterwards. No, absolutely not, man. Okay. He said his administration will be making more announcements in the future to fully embrace the identity of the Department of War. Okay. The United States Armed Forces will be totally unmatched in the future. Yeah, you're right. You're going to be unmatched because you're not going to be any match for those chariots when they show up. Fully show up. Not just orbs in the sky. Okay. Not just messing with military equipment here and there. Okay. They're going to fully show up and deal with your ass. Okay. And this is what the scriptures mean by this tongue this nigga got, man. Okay. It says by his craft. Okay. He caused craft to prosper in his hand, and by peace he destroyed many. Okay. And Daniel 8:25 is speaking about Antiochus, but we know these are the same devils, man. Okay. Hell, he might be Antiochus. Okay. Verse 4, Psalms 140 and 4. Okay. Keep me, O Lord Yahweh, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purposed to overthrow my going. Because they're talking about turning this inward on the U.S. citizens, and it's under the guise of these aliens. We gotta make everybody safe, but they let all of these people in here on purpose. They let all of these neighborhoods get bad on purpose. They let all of these drugs and guns to get into these inner cities: Philly, Chicago, L.A., New York, Atlanta. Okay, St. Louis, New Orleans. They let all of this happen because they knew one day they was gonna be able to bring the hammer down your ass. Okay, they were gonna have a justified reason into doing so. Okay, It says, verse 5, the proud have hid a snare for me. That's the snare. Okay? Allowing drugs to come into the communities, locking you up, destroying the home the whole time. And then when they say it gets too bad, it's too out of control because these women cannot stop laying down with these men. Okay? When it gets too out of control, they say, well, we don't have a choice now. All right? That's a snare, man. It says, the proud have hit a snare for me and cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me. Okay? This is what nigger culture is. It's a giant snare. Okay? Number one, it gets you away from your real identity. Okay? Because you're not so-called black. You're not so-called Latino. You're not so-called Native American. Okay? You're the Israelites. So all of these other names and bywords, with that alone is a snare. Okay? But then they put a culture behind it, a demonic culture behind it. Because Jake was not doing this during Jim Crow or even coming up to the civil rights era. But now it's everywhere. It's pervasive. And that's the first thing they shine the camera on. You can't get a record deal, okay, rapping about positivity. You gotta rap about death and degeneracy. Okay? A snare. Verse 6, I said unto the Lord Yahweh, thou art my power. Hear the voice of my supplications, O Lord Yahweh. O power of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, the strength of my salvation. Thou hast covered my head in the day of battle. Okay? And we're going to have to go to battle. Okay? Right now it's spiritually, but physically, these people are going to roll on us, man. Okay? And if the Lord doesn't cover your head, you're through, because the Lord gave him his sword. There's a reason this military was able to get built up like this and he can speak so boldly and so proudly. Okay? It's because the Lord gave him nuclear weapons. The Lord gave him drone technology, satellite technology, thermal imaging technology, okay? Robotics, electronics, okay? It says, verse 8, grant not, O Lord, the desires of the wicked, further not his wicked device, lest they exalt themselves. And look at how much they've exalted themselves already. They ain't even got the kingdom. They ain't even got the victory yet. Okay. They're winning, but they haven't won. Okay. This all go back to the birthright of Jacob and Esau, man. He's still bitter. Okay. And wants the fatness of the earth permanently, but he can't have it. Salakia. Verse 9, as for the head of those that compass about, let the mischief of their own lips cover them. He's one of the heads. Pete Hegseth is one of the heads. Okay? When you look at this image, these are the heads. Okay? That's a lesson in itself. Okay? It says, as for the head of those that compass me about, let the mischief of their own lips cover them. Let burning coals fall upon them. Let them be cast into the fire, into deep pits, that they rise not up again. Okay? And that's what's going to happen. Okay? America's going to get absolutely torched. Okay? And you're going to serve hardcore slavery, you elites. Okay? We're going to breed you like livestock. Okay? We're going to trade y'all like Pokemon cards, like you did us. And you're going to build back every ounce of the kingdom, okay? And then you're going to be round up, burnt up in a pit, okay? Then it says, let not an evil speaker be established in the earth, all right? Evil shall hunt the violent man to overthrow him. And so his own people are going to be the reason for his downfall. These Americans, these Egyptians are going to fight each other, okay? So you have an evil man established in the earth. Okay? So he's getting ready to be hunted. And it's going to be his own doing. Really the Most High's doing. All right? It says, verse 12, I know that the Lord Yahweh will maintain the cause of the afflicted and the right of the poor. Okay? And we're in the day of affliction, the day of atonement. Okay? We are the afflicted ones. Okay? all of you people that are afflicted, that think you're going through a curse, like we had a Moabite looking guy and an Edomite looking woman come up to camp this past week, talking about how their families are struggling and hurting. And no, you ain't struggling and hurting, man. Whatever you're going through, it's self-inflicted. Okay, the Lord didn't do that to you. It's a cause of your own stupidity. Now we know the Lord is in charge of everything, but you understand what I'm saying. You're not a part of the you're not a main character, okay? You heathen. All right. Verse 13, surely the righteous shall give thanks unto thy name. The upright shall dwell in thy presence, okay? So you got to have the name of the Lord for you IUIC guys out there, okay? So Psalms 140, it's manifesting. It's coming to pass, okay? Look, he wants to spend $1 trillion in 2026. Why is that? And Esau is so stupid. He doesn't realize money doesn't equal to readiness. Okay, it's not a 1-to-1. You could be overcharged for a bullet. Okay, one bullet, he can charge you $100 for one bullet. That don't make you more ready. That don't mean you got 2 bullets. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna end it there, man. Lord willing, this is edifying. Call hello Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rachak Shalom Kwame Asherah.